Alright, YouTube, what's up? About to get started.
Hey, this is Keep 1 Million Show. Please like, share.
From the Phoenix you're tuned to KRDP.
Sending you guys links right now. Please watch, like, share. Greatly appreciated.
Goldfield Ghost Town, Phoenix, 90.7 FM.
Greatly appreciated.
And online at listen, the number 2, KRDP.com, a service of Desert Soul Media.
KRDP is a new community radio station serving the East Valley on 90.7 FM and the rest of the community online at our website. Listen, the number 2, KRDP.com. KRDP features a mix of jazz, blues, R&B, soul, and eclectic programming from the Valley community, Arizona, and around the world. We encourage you to financially support KRDP by sustaining monthly donation. You can donate right now at our website by going to listen, the number 2, KRDP.com, and click on donate. Your financial support is graciously appreciated.
It wouldn't have got dropped.
Yeah, it was like he was actually beating Spence.
And he got dropped, and that's what hurt him.
Views and opinions
And then
expressed
he would,
in this program
I had him losing
are those
against
of the
Crawford
speakers
anyway.
and do not necessarily reflect
But his
the
dad
views
stopped
or
the fight because he
positions
kept getting dropped.
of Desert
Like,
Soul Media
and
its board of
Crawford's doing
directors.
an excellent
Thank you for
finisher.
listening.
So he's like, nah, his dad stopped the fight.
This week on the Keep 1 Million Show, Bronny James had a huge health scare practicing with his USC teammates. We're going to get into that, as well as NFL training camp has just started this week, and there's some key injuries that happened. We're going to talk about that. And Saquon Barkley finally gets his bag, kind of. Will other running backs follow suit? We're also going to get into Shohei Ohtani. He does something special today. We're going to get into that. And is he the greatest baseball player ever? We're also going to talk about college football as the Pac-12 may be over as Colorado looks to make a move. And we're going to lay who is going to win Spence versus Bud Crawford this week. We got our bets. So keep it locked right here on the Keep 1 Million Show.
And then Dalvin Cook is going to talk to the Jets. Actually tomorrow, I think, or Saturday. Oh, wow.
He gonna talk to the Jets. He gonna talk to the Jets. Ooh, that means they going. What they gonna do with Brees Hall? Why not? Brees Hall coming off that injury. was your week?
It was good. Busy, spent a lot of money on my daughter's school clothes.
Oh, school clothes. Yeah. Oh man, I gotta get they pants. I gotta get their school clothes, their uniforms.
Oh, yeah,
I gotta get their pants. Really, they got enough. They got enough shirts. Their shirts are fine.
That's so much easier. I miss that actually.
Miss
Just thinking
what?
about it. Just buying school uniforms. Where they're at, they don't have school uniforms.
Yeah,
Buying clothes, so.
that's how I
yeah.
could. Like even my oldest daughter, she when she was in, like well, she went to Catholic school for 9th grade, but then she for 10th, 11th, 12th, she went to public, and they
yeah.
still wore like khakis,
Mhm.
and then they could wear different shirts, different color shirts.
Mhm.
The girls could wear blouses, like the little
Mhm.
button-up blouses and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
and they had free dress every now and then.
Yeah, my daughter, my oldest daughter had one of her elementary schools, or a couple of them had uniforms. Like the baby blue shirt and the khakis and all that. But now in Buckeye, they can wear whatever. She's in high school now. Man,
Which school did she go to? Verado or?
I think so. In Buckeye. She might be junior. What? How many schools out there in Buckeye? I don't even know.
I know. When my homeboy, the one his daughter goes to is Verado.
That small town, that might be the only school. Yeah. She's in ROTC.
Okay.
My youngest is going to, she's homeschooled since the pandemic, but she's been doing so good on that. She's gone on the, what's that called? Honor Society. She got accepted to the Honor Society last year.
For real?
Yeah, my youngest, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, she's really smart. You know what, I'm about to play this next one with the ball right now. This song is too damn long.
What song is it? Oh, Purple Rain.
Huh?
Oh, Purple Rain. I only got a minute left.
Yeah, a whole minute of just him wailing.
Too good. Purple Rain.
You know how songs was back in the day.
Prince is the man. You can't cut Prince off.
It was 8 minutes long and 4 minutes was the guitar solo.
Blasphemy, man. He was a hell of an artist too.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Writer,
Producer. He could play
and
multiple
13
instruments.
He's like 13
Yeah,
instruments.
it's like
Something crazy like that.
that's what people argue about him and Michael. I said Michael Jackson was the better entertainer, but Prince was the better artist. But that's even bad to say because Prince give a hell of a show too. He was a great entertainer as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we do not own the music.
We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time. But we ain't gonna wait no more. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We're gonna 1, 2, 3.
Hey, we're back. The Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
It is July 27, 2023.
Yes, sir.
How's everything going?
Oh, everything going good. Everything going good, man. Just realize you know how you know when you have stuff and you don't know how blessed, even though we know how blessed we are, but we know how very blessed we are until we in a situation like, man, like this whole one car thing. Whew, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get it.
But yeah, but I believe in blessings, and we're gonna get into something that's real deep.
Yeah, and speaking of blessings, it's a blessing that Bronny James
Yes, sir.
the oldest son of LeBron James. He's had a serious issue. He had cardiac arrest during the practice. During USC practice, he signed with USC. Now he's out of the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Been
Okay.
reading from ESPN.
All right.
He's been discharged, and you know, LeBron James had wrote, you know, on Twitter, you know, quote, "I want to thank countless people sending my family love and prayers. We feel you, and I'm so grateful. Everyone is doing great. We have our family together, safe and healthy, and we feel your love. We'll have more to say when we're ready, but wanted to tell everyone how much your support has meant to all of us. Hashtag James Gang." Now, this situation is a very touchy situation because of what's been going on in the past few years with young players coming down with cardiac arrest during practice, during games. It's a real difficult situation. I mean, what do you think is what's going on with this?
It's just a scary situation. It's real scary. It's, I mean, we seeing this. We're seeing this often now. Well, not often, but we're seeing it, to me, way too often. We saw it with DeMar Hamlin, even though that was a contact thing. But we still saw somebody literally pass away on the field, and then he got brought back. And I don't know if anybody remember years back with Hank Gathers when he passed out, when he passed away on the court, pretty much. And the interesting side note to that is when I was doing my research on this, is that Eric Spoelstra was actually on the opposing team that was playing against Hank Gathers that day. He was literally, they say he was literally like maybe a yard or two away from him when he fell. So I thought, I was like, wow. You know, and Reggie Lewis from the Boston Celtics, if anybody remembers Reggie Lewis, he, same thing. He passed away while working out during the summer. And Katina Mobley, of course, he's still with us, but he was diagnosed during a physical. So this stuff is very serious, and it concerns a lot of people.
Shaquille O'Neal's son has had surgery with an enlarged heart. I think heart arrhythmia had started, and he had to have surgery. He's actually, you know, playing, if I'm not mistaken, in the G League. He was signed by the Lakers, and you know he's had issues for quite some time. It seems like something's going on. You know, young players, young men and women are dropping. There is a thing with the heat exposure, whatnot, with the summertime, but you know, this basketball is indoors. You know, so there it is. That is a weird issue going on. People want to say, you know, conspiracy theories about what's going on in the past 3 years and whatnot. Who knows? But just want to glad that Bronny James is healthy, and hopefully he can play again. You know, don't know how long his timetable is if he wants to get back into playing basketball, because this is bigger than basketball. You know what I mean? Remember, Chris Bosh had to retire because of blood clots, and he tried to come back, and the league said no, because they didn't want an issue happening on the court. Just like how we see it, DeMar Hamlin, you don't want they want to see that live on TV in an NBA game. So those issues and those problems are gonna have to be talked about when talking about not just Bronny James but others. If you've seen, there's countless of videos of young men and women, dropping with cardiac arrest.
Yeah, and it seems like it's more with African Americans, because when I was doing my research, I ran into this article on CNN, and they quoted a doctor. His name is Dr. Jonathan Drenzer out of University of Washington Medical Center. He's a specialist in sports cardiology, and he said young black men, D1 basketball players, have had a 1 in 2,000 chance of experiencing cardiac arrest each year, whereas their white counterparts, meaning white males, Division I basketball players, only have 1 in 5,000 chance. So he's been doing some research on it, trying to figure out why.
Yeah, that's difficult right there, especially a young man. He's just turned 18 years old.
Yeah,
if
young.
you look on his, social media, he just, had senior prom and graduating high school, and now he's moving on to college, and then this happens. So hopefully he recovers and can get on the court, like DeMar Hamlin, who was actually on the field in training camp. I just seen a video of him running out there to training camp, so he possibly can make that 53-man roster, and
he will.
Shout out to him, and shout out to the Buffalo Bills for in the NFL for help paying for his medical bills immediately and everything like that, so it doesn't have any complications, because he was one of those players on the cusp, which is he wasn't a fully guaranteed player. He was still, I don't want to say living paycheck to paycheck, but he wasn't making the money that can allow him to, have those luxuries, and even medical luxuries. Yeah, because that's a lot of money there.
Yeah, he didn't have that Jalen Ramsey contract like that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Not dissing Jalen Ramsey, just trying to have y'all understand.
Right.
The pay discrepancy.
Right. There's a huge pay discrepancy. I mean, he was making like under 600,000 or something like that versus, $15-20 million, a year. So, yeah. But we hope Bronny has a full recovery, and we can see him on the basketball court for USC very soon.
Actually, I just want to see him walk into class. I mean, if I see him walk into class, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna get into the NFL as training camp has started, and we're gonna talk about Saquon Barkley and other running backs, what's going on with that, and injuries that just happened this past week in training camp. So keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million Show.
So.
It was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still have that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you could do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you are thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but Miss Araceli, she gave me direction.
At age 47, Marco finished his high school diploma.
50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you are thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back to Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean Pate.
And that music says a lot. This NFL season has begun, as training camp has started this week. If I'm not mistaken, the first preseason games is in a week and a half.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we've already have a major injury regarding NFL training camp, as Joe Burrow
Yeah.
comes up lame in a practice, you can't hit the quarterbacks in training camp. So he was rolling out right, and he pulled up, and from the looks of it, it didn't look good because it was his legs. One of his legs is saying it is a calf injury. So, they're going to monitor that. Most likely going to be day to day.
Yeah.
And, the coach quota will get more information as we go. I say a lot of players are experiencing soreness and cramps and whatnot. So maybe it's just that. Maybe, hopefully, it's not a calf strain or calf tear. But I was just watching a show that they were talking about Joe Burrow as a MVP front runner.
Okay.
How far can the Bengals go with him? He's next in line to receive a big contract. I mean, how scary is this for the Bengals and Bengals fans?
It's real scary because this is your franchise player. I mean, he's going to get the big contract. And when I saw the video, he was rolling out, and all of a sudden he just pulled up and was just was living, and he went to the ground. And first thing I thought was, don't let it be no freak ACL type thing or anything like that. But they said the rumors were that it was his calf, which is a muscle, a muscle. So you figure he can just not do any of the pre-camp and just don't play in the preseason. And then he'll be ready for the regular season because he's a starting quarterback no matter what. He's not fighting for his job. So he'll be fine on that. And I know a lot of people, fantasy-wise, is like,
their heart's in their throats.
Yeah, they're like, especially if you got a dynasty league and you got Joe Burrow as your quarterback.
You already know. Fantasy corner with Sean in a second. I have nothing about fantasy football. Also, Jalen Ramsey, his first year with the Miami Dolphins, he's going to undergo surgery on his left knee.
Okay.
Looks like he tore his meniscus, but his ACL is fine. It's intact.
All right.
He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. He should be back, in the middle of the season.
All right.
And the thing is, they had quite an overhaul, offense and defensively, bringing in players and trades and everything. And this is one of their big trades that they acquired Jalen Ramsey from the Rams, as the Rams were sellers this past offseason.
Yeah.
Defensively, can Miami bounce back from this?
No, we'll see. I mean, they weren't bad last year, though. They weren't a bad team. They made the playoffs, so I believe they can't do anything. Well, they can be worse. Of course, they cannot make the playoffs, but I don't believe that. I believe they're going to make the playoffs again and be a good team. But it's just unfortunate that you trade for this player, and Ramsey has a lot to prove. So he's going to come out guns blazing and doing his thing. So it's sad to see this happen, but he's resilient. He'll come back.
Right.
And do his thing.
Yeah, by mid-season, if they're in the hunt, they should be in one of the top teams in the AFC, and he comes back, that can solidify their defense. So, hopefully he's back 100%, with that knee injury. Now, on the running back side, you have Saquon Barkley, who basically swallowed his pride, and he signs a 1-year deal, $10 million deal. He gets $2 million of that up front. and then he can get an additional $900,000 in incentives if he surpasses his marks last season. And he said he had an epiphany.
Yeah,
You know, he's still disappointed in, the Giants not, giving him a long-term deal. And what's crazy is they were basically just $3 million apart. I don't think that's enough money to have your star player lingering out here on a one-year deal. If $13 million was the threshold to get him a long-term deal, why didn't you just do that? I don't understand it, because now he's on a one-year deal, and you don't know what's going to happen at the end of this season. Let's say he maxes out, and he becomes a top running back, and the Giants go to the playoffs, deep in the playoffs, and then at the offseason, it's like, well, hey, this is what I'm made of. I want more, and these other teams are willing to pay me more. He basically is betting on himself. Now, do you think other players in the running back situation, are they going to do this and bet on themselves? Because that's what the case is.
I was thinking about that with Josh Jacobs, and I was like, is he going to do the same thing? I don't know, because Saquon is betting on himself, like you said, and I know I'm an Eagles fan and he plays for the Giants, but I want Saquon to ball out. I really want him to ball out.
Yeah.
And is after this year, will he be a free agent or?
Yeah, this is just a one-year deal. So
okay.
After this, he'll be a free agent,
So
where either he can work a deal with the Giants, or, he's a free agent. Now, what the Giants can do is trade him before the trading deadline.
Oh yeah, they can do that. Yeah, they can.
That is a possibility. Let's say the Giants aren't doing too well. They're in last place. It doesn't look like they're going to be a playoff team. Who is going to be the first player they unload to get draft picks or to get something in return? The first player be Saquon.
Yeah.
So that is basically this one-year deal is the Giants' insurance plan moving forward, where you could possibly trade them because you have them under contract. And there's nothing he can do about that. But going with Josh Jacobs, he's not coming into camp. So he most likely is going to hold out. Remember,
all right.
They had a Zoom meeting with all these running backs that's in the same situation and was trying to figure out what should they do. And it's like Saquon's the one that wasn't lockstep with everybody else. And signing that deal with Josh Jacobs, he doesn't want that franchise tag, which is the same $10.1 million. And I think he's gonna hold out. And what I just seen with Dalvin Cook, he's gonna be talking to the Jets. This weekend, he's gonna go to the Jets. I think the Jets gonna have to give him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah, because
if he goes to the Jets, man.
Because
huge.
Aaron Rodgers, he took a pay cut. He did like a $35 million pay cut. So
yes, he did.
So they got enough money to sign him.
Yes, he did.
That's gonna be
took
crazy.
A pay cut.
Because they'll have him and Brees Hall. Brees Hall will be coming back. So, and Devin Cook come out. Dalvin Cook can come out the. He can come out the backfield. He can catch out the backfield. That's gonna be.
Yeah, that's gonna be deadly.
It's gonna be deadly.
That's gonna. Dalvin Cook can potentially put the Jets in the top 5 teams in the AFC. I mean, he basically won 3 to 4 games for the Minnesota Vikings alone.
Yeah.
And he's the top rusher in the league. So, with those two things right there, and I'm not sure how good Jets offensive line is, but still, if you have a team that's hungry to win, you got a top quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, you have great running backs, young running backs, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. I mean, sky's the limit for the Jets especially if they get Dalvin Cook. That's going to be something.
Yep. Can't wait to see Fire. What's his name? Fireman Ed.
Right.
Can't wait to see him.
Now, Sean Payton in the press conference, you know, he was going in on last year's coaching staff for the Denver Broncos. Now, you remember Sean Payton, he took the job for this year's team, and, you know, he basically was saying that last year's team was the worst coaching he's ever seen in history. Like, talking about the Jets, talking bad about the Jets.
The Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, no, he was going all over the place. He was talking about how because the Broncos coach, ex-coach, is now the Jets offensive coordinator.
Okay.
He was saying how the team was a mess. They're one of the worst teams last season, and one of the worst coaching jobs that he's ever seen, and that the Broncos, they thought they won the off season, and the Jets look like they're trying to do the same. And then the Jets head coach came out and was like, well, haters gonna hate. If you don't have enough haters, you're not popping. So we're popping right now. That is exactly what the Jets head coach said.
Yeah.
And they play each other week 5. I mean, this is just really some trash talk, Sean Payton, or is he saying something real?
I will say that last year, the Broncos coach last year, when I watched some of those games, it seemed like he was out of his element. Like the moment was too big for him, and he just wasn't ready for it. Some of his play calls were not good play calls. So I get that, but at the same time, Sean Payton has to understand he's not a commentator anymore. Like, he can't. I don't believe that you should be insulting other coaches and players in public like that when you're a head coach. That's my whole stance on it.
I hear you.
And I wasn't feeling that. I know some people was like, oh, whatever, he can say that and this and this, but I just thought it was a little bit classless on his part.
Right. He even had some things to say about his quarterback. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It seems like he kind of was upset of how messy the team was when he got there, and how everything was discombobulated, unorganized. And you see how the Broncos had a assistant that helped with game management, because the Broncos head coach last season really couldn't get the plays off on time. Was terrible in the 2-minute offense. Was terrible in play calling itself. So he's not wrong.
No, I never
but
said
the
it.
thing is, him saying it out loud is the problem. You know what I mean?
Look, we tell just today, my 2 kids, they were in the car, and we was telling my youngest, the little girl, we was like, she said something to her brother, and we was like, and her mom, my wife, was like, did you have to say that? That was unnecessary. That was inappropriate. Yes, we understand that it might be true, but it was inappropriate. So now we're talking about an adult in Sean Payton right now. So yes, was it true what you said? Yes. Did you have to say it? No, you didn't have to say it. It's like, so I'm trying to understand why he said it. It's not like he got caught on camera by somebody else while he was at a bar drinking. he was at a press conference and did this. I just,
Mm.
it's some of the things some of these guys do just bewilders me.
And the thing is he trying to set up an excuse for if he has a bad season?
You know, I didn't
Saying
think about that.
hey,
I did not think about that.
you know, they don't make the playoffs. Hey, well, look what I inherited. You know, I inherited a horrible team, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take a couple years for me to get this team back to where it needs to be, to where you guys want a champion, and try to build that whole thing up where I want to be how the Broncos used to be in those championship years, and this and that and the third, and it seems like he's already laying that groundwork for that before the preseason. This is the first week of training camp, so it seems like he's laying that groundwork, throwing everybody under the bus here, and just making it seem like, hey, I'm gonna be the one to fix everything. So,
A little bit narcissistic.
right. And one last thing before we go to break. What do you feel about the Jets' Hard Knocks coming up? With Aaron Rodgers and everything going on with the Jets, how you think that's going to turn out?
I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen an episode of Hard Knocks before.
Wow.
I've never watched it. I never watched it before.
I've seen some of the early episodes, but this seems like NFL Films, and they were trying to force them to do it, and they don't want to do it. A lot of players, a lot of teams didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I do know that a lot of teams don't want to do
So
it.
the Jets are going to do it, and I think it's going to be a maybe must-see TV right here,
Yeah,
especially
maybe.
with Aaron Rodgers and mixing with those young players. I mean, that's gonna be an interesting scenario.
Yeah.
Also, the quarterback documentary, mini docu-series on Netflix is gonna be a season 2. The issue is they're trying to find quarterbacks, because a lot of quarterbacks have said no, from Jalen Hurts to Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert. A lot of players have said no. What do you think would be the best 3 quarterbacks? I mean, we talked about this last week, but if a lot it's coming out that a lot of quarterbacks are saying no, I guess they want to keep. I think they want to keep what they got going on private.
Okay. I guess Lamar Jackson, maybe.
Yeah.
Lamar
With
Jackson.
all that whole contract negotiation stuff.
And you said Aaron Rodgers said no, right?
Yeah, he's on Hard Knocks.
Oh, he's on Hard Knocks.
He's gonna be
Yeah,
on Hard
yeah,
Knocks.
yeah. So I mean, Lamar Jackson, maybe Justin, what's his name? Justin Herbert.
He said no as well.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Geno.
Geno Smith could be all right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think some of these young,
and maybe that one
young
rookie
quarterbacks.
C.J. Stroud. Maybe C.J.
I
Stroud.
think some rookie quarterbacks can get some shine here with that. I think Patrick Mahomes again would be excellent.
Oh, I guess you said for privacy reasons, because you said the documentary was great.
It was excellent.
It's
and
also,
then they go really deep in with the play calling, with the schemes and whatnot. And I think that is what a lot of players don't want out there, and teams for that matter.
I can see that.
Right, but we're gonna go to break. We're gonna come right back with more Keep 1 Million Show.
Yes, sir. That is interesting. They said hell no.
What's that?
They said hell no.
Yeah.
No. But I think, you're probably right about that. The whole play calling and everything. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Oh man, you gotta watch one of these episodes. It's a whole episode about play calling and them trying to get the play calls right from training camp all the way through the season. Yeah. It's really good.
Omaha.
Oh man, and the one that was cool for that one was Marcus Mariota. His wife was helping him do the play calling at home. They both had she had the laptop, and was writing them down and stuff. Because what's crazy is Marcus Mariota's wife and Patrick Mahomes' wife are athletes. They're both soccer players. Patrick Mahomes' wife is a professional soccer player in the Netherlands, but she's now part owner of a Kansas City women's soccer team. And then Marcus Mariota's wife she used to play for Oregon. She played soccer in Oregon, yeah.
Did Mariota play for Oregon? He played for Oregon?
Yeah, Mariota played for Oregon,
okay.
yeah. He won a Heisman.
All right.
And we're back on Dwayne.
Sean B.
This is the Keep 1 Million show on KRDP 90.7 FM. Thanks everybody for watching on Instagram and YouTube. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Please like, share, comment. And thanks everybody for listening on 90.7 FM. We're going to get into some college football here. And there's media days. That's every conference has media days all across the country. Pac-12 has their media day, and a bombshell hit on Pac-12 media day as Colorado is talking about returning to the Big 12.
Ooh.
Now, and this is for the 2024 season. This was just announced Thursday. The conference presidents and chancellors reportedly voted unanimously to accept Colorado as a new member of the Big 12 during a conference call on Wednesday night. Thursday, the school board of Regis held a meeting and unanimously voted upon a resolution approving the move. Quote, after careful thought and consideration, it was determined that the switch in conference would give Colorado University Boulder a stability, resources, and exposure necessary for long-term future success in a college athletic environment that is consistently evolving. Chancellor Philip D. Stefano and Athletic Director Rick George said in a joint statement. The Big 12 national reach across 3 time zones, as well as our shared creative vision for the future, we feel makes it an exciting fit for CU Boulder. Our students, faculty, and alumni, these decisions are never easy, and we value our 12 years as proud members of the Pac-12 Conference. We look forward to achieving new goals while embarking on this exciting new era as members of the Pac-12 Conference. Now, this comes right after USC and UCLA have accepted invitations to go to the Big Ten next season as well. Oh, excuse me, yeah, the Big Ten, right? They're going to the Big Ten. Now, that makes only 9 teams in the Pac-12, and then there's rumblings that ASU and U of A here in Arizona can possibly go to the Big 12. What do you think about this, Sean? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think this is the end of the Pac-12 as we know it? Obviously.
Yeah. This is not my college football anymore.
No, it's not.
I remember, man, the Pac-10 when it was USC and UCLA and that rivalry. Then you had the USC Notre Dame rivalry, and then you had like the Pac-10. We played the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl. It's not this. It's not like that anymore. I'm gonna read up deeply on this, like why they dissolving all these conferences.
Here's the thing. Two things that something me and other people have talked about for years, especially on this show, is the fact that one, the NCAA in football once was called super conferences, 16 teams per conference, and those other conferences are going to be, smaller conferences, and you see what's been going on in the past few years as teams are moving to the SEC, to the Big Ten, now the Big 12. Two, after this season is going to start the expanded playoffs of 12 teams, right?
Oh, okay.
So with that, you're going to have these teams vying for spots as far as not your top 4, but your top 8, your top 12 teams. And if you're not in a super conference, you may not get even looked at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 3 is even more than just 3, but the Pac-12 are still don't have a solidified media network. You have the Big 10 network, the Big 12 network, the SEC network, the ACC network. The Pac-12 doesn't really have a solidified network of media rights right now.
Okay.
So that's the main reason USC and UCLA left, because they weren't getting the right revenue sharing as other teams are getting. As far as the SEC, it's like $75 million they were losing, so that's why they left. And I see why Colorado's leaving, because they don't. It's not set in stone what the Pac-12 is doing. So they want a bigger piece of the pie, right? Texas and Oklahoma left the Big 12, so there's some space there that can be rectified. So Colorado actually has a better chance of getting to that 12-team playoff, going to the Big 12 versus staying in the Pac-12, quote-unquote Pac-10, how you want to call it. San Diego State wanted to move to the Pac-12, but something like that didn't happen. The Mountain West, they kind of gave them more money to stay. So that doesn't happen. It seems like to me that with the Pac-12 and its history of not performing in the college football playoff, Oregon, getting beat down, UCLA or USC not being where they used to be. Now they're finally getting there. UCLA not being a big school. It hasn't been how it used to be in the late 90s, early 2000s, when USC was the top dog, and then Oregon came and they was running things in the nation.
Yeah.
Now you don't have that at all. You have a lot of players out of high school leaving the West Coast, going to the East Coast, going to the South, knowing that they can get better recognition. They can get on TV more. They can play for national championships at Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson. Now North Carolina, a lot of other places.
Even on the lesser end, Penn State, you got guys
right.
from Penn State.
Penn State, the Scottsdale quarterback years ago goes to Penn State. The top wide receivers in Los Angeles goes to Ohio State. They go to Michigan. So these players see so much now. It seems like they know, hey, if I want to get the bag, now you have the NIL deals. I want to go to Alabama. Hey, I may not even start. I may sit for 3-4 years, but I'm going to get the bag. I'm going to get a chance to play in the playoffs. I'm going to get a chance to be recognized. And if I'm good enough, I can move on. If not, I can just take the transfer portal somewhere else instead of being stuck in the Pac-12 that does not have a media rights deal. That the teams are being played at midnight. 9 p.m. to midnight. So all the top recruiters, all the top scouts, all the top writers, mostly out of the East Coast and Midwest, they're asleep. So you have remember ESPN had this Pac-12 After Dark.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
remember that.
Where you have, Oregon versus Oregon State, USC versus it, and they're at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Nobody's up on the East Coast at that time because that's midnight, 1 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So players are having issues with that. Like, wait a minute, we're not even being seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think really this is the beginning of the end of the Pac-12.
And another thing some of these young players might look at, I remember I saw a video of this, and it showed LSU playing Alabama. I believe it was in the national championship game, and it showed Joe Burrow, and they had Jamar Chase. Then on the other side you had Devonta Smith, and you had I believe it was Mac Jones, and these other players, and pretty much what they were showing you was like, look how many NFL players was playing in this game. So that's what the young player is thinking. If I'm good enough to play for one of those two teams, I'm playing for that
matter
team.
of fact, if you really look at that national championship game, but that game, LSU versus Alabama, where it was Joe Burrow and it had all those players. Look at how many, not just the quarterbacks and the star wide receivers. Look at absolutely how many players are in the NFL from those two teams.
Oh, yeah.
Those two teams.
Even
It's
on
like
the defense.
20.
Yeah, it was
That's
like,
what I'm saying. The offensive line, the defensive line, the safeties, the linebackers. It's like 20 players from those two teams alone that not only are in the NFL, but they're impact players. They're players that are going to get that second contract.
Yeah.
Right? Not just a rookie deal or be franchise tagging. You have issues like Saquon Barkley and whatnot, who went to Penn State.
Yeah.
So, as a high school player, especially coming out of the West Coast, and you see those things, and you see the recruiting videos and all that, even if, remember Florida, how Florida State was, USC, Virginia Tech. Players are going to go that way because they know they will be seen on TV. The scouts in the NFL will see them. The writers for Heisman and whatever, Bolitnikovs and all those, they'll see them. So the Pac-12 is in trouble for multiple reasons, not just one reason, not just the media deal, for multiple reasons. And I remember when Texas A&M was poaching players from Arizona and from California. They was upset. People were upset about it, but it's like, well, what are you gonna do? And what they tried to do was have I think it's Sutherland, the coach. He went to U of A. He got the bag, but still he couldn't get players at U of A. So he was terrible there, and I think only coached one season at U of A. But if he would have stayed at A&M, Texas A&M, he probably would have still been a coach right now. So.
Didn't Les Miles come out here too?
He tried at U of A. He tried, and it worked out terribly.
Yeah, Herm Edwards.
Worked out terribly because these players, they know there's greener pastures somewhere else. Even if you go to a bad team, you're going to get seen on the Midwest or the East Coast versus staying on the West Coast. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but this is what it is, you know what I mean? College football is right now is very much so about money. It's about, exposure, and it's about who's going to win. And if you're in that winning situation, you're You're gonna get seen.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get, a pathway to the NFL. No matter how long you wait at a certain team, like right now, the team right now is Georgia.
Yeah.
And they have countless of NFL talent, five-star players.
Half of them play for the Eagles now.
Exactly. So when you can get a plethora of all-star, five-star players, top flight players, that's where it's gonna go. That's where it's heading, and it's the NCAA is heading to, I would say, possibly 4 super conferences.
Okay. All right. 4.
The SEC,
Mm-hmm.
the Big Ten,
Mm-hmm.
the ACC,
Mm-hmm.
and the Big 12.
All right.
Those are going to be your 4 super conferences.
And the rest of the conferences are just going to be like mid-majors?
Most likely mid-majors, small teams. Maybe they can, have a mid-major exception for the 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But those top, 4. So those top 8 spots in the playoffs is going to go to those 4 super conferences.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And those last 4 are going to be those 4 mid-majors, those quote-unquote at-large bids, as you see in college basketball. It's going to have that at-large bid.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, there's going to be a lot more poaching.
Mm.
A lot more teams moving to different conferences. I wouldn't put it past that the ACC tries to grab a couple teams in the next year or so.
And don't worry about it, y'all. Like I always tell people, the teams, the conferences, they will catch up because if you think about women's basketball years ago when UConn was winning all the time, college basketball just caught up with them. It took a while, but it caught up with them. So I'm not gonna worry about other teams. They'll catch up.
Right. And with that being said, we're gonna come right back with more Keep 1 Million Show.
Yes, sir.
Bobby Rush, Chief Ajua,
Why I stretched the hell out of that.
and more.
I ain't gonna lie, I stretched the hell out of that. Man, goodness.
MIM.org.
Adopt US Kids
Okay, so the
presents
first-
what to expect when you're
this
expecting a
second hour,
teenager, learning
we're
the
gonna go
lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T,
Ronnie James.
acronym, stands for greatest
And then,
of all time,
then
as
it's,
in spaghetti sandwiches for dinner.
and then,
They're my fave. Dad,
After that,
you're the
I found
GOAT.
something else.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Business sponsorship on KRDP is provided by the Musical Instrument Museum, open daily in Phoenix. The Musical Instrument Museum's summer concert series includes upcoming performances by Giovanni Caini, Stanley Jordan, and Eric Gales. Tickets at MIM.org.
I know. Sohei Ohtani. That's all I'm talking about. Have you seen what he did today?
What did he do? Did he pitch a perfect game and hit a grand slam or something like that?
You're tuned to
Damn near.
KRDP Jazz.
No,
where the
seriously.
Valley
No,
comes
no,
to
He had a
talk,
complete
sing,
game,
connect.
one hitter.
KRDP,
Okay.
And it was a
Apache
double
Junction,
header.
Goldfield Ghost Town,
Complete game, one
Phoenix.
hitter.
90.7
Then the
FM
next
in the
game,
East
he hit
Valley,
2 home
and
runs.
online at
The first time it's ever
listen,
happened
the
in
number
history.
2, KRDP.com, a
Unbelievable.
service of Desert Soul Media.
So he wasn't pitching the next game.
No, he couldn't.
KRDP is a community
right.
radio station serving the
he's
East
a
Valley
DH.
on
Okay,
he's American
107
League.
FM.
Okay, no, he's DH.
Yeah,
No,
he's a
I just can't get
DH.
trying to
Right,
figure out.
And our
right.
website.
No, he doesn't play the
Listen,
field.
the number
Okay.
2,
He's just a pitcher.
KRDP.com.
He's a pitcher and he plays DH.
KRDP features a
Right.
mix of jazz, blues,
And this was
R&B,
the
soul,
day
an eclectic
that
programming from the Valley
they took him
community,
off the trading block
Arizona,
because they were
and
trying to
around
trade
the
him.
world. We
They don't want to pay them
encourage you to
that
financially
It's not
support
just that,
KRDP with a sustaining
they
monthly
didn't think
donation.
they could
You
win.
can donate right
The Angels
now
are
at our
trash.
website by going to
But
listen,
but
the number
they
2,
made a trade to bring in another pitcher
KRDP.com,
from
and
White
click on
Sox.
donate. Your
And so they think
financial
they can make
support
one of
is
those wild
graciously
card spots.
appreciated.
And then what if they get to the playoffs and get deep in the playoffs, maybe they can convince Shohei Ohtani to
expressed
stay.
in this program
Which
are those
now I
of the
don't think it's gonna
speakers
happen.
and do not
And then Mike
necessarily
Trout was
reflect the
injured.
views or
Oh, Trout's
positions
injured.
of
Yeah.
Desert Soul
And to be
Media
honest with you,
and its board of directors.
This is the
Thank
only
you for
thing
listening.
good. Talk
This
about
week
them,
on the Keep 1 Million
in
show,
baseball.
Bronny James
I'm not
had a
gonna
huge
lie.
health
How he gonna
scare
play for the
practicing with his USC teammates. We're going to get
I don't
into
even
that,
want
as well
You don't
as
want it?
NFL training camp has
No.
just started this week,
Why not?
and there's some
Because
key
that pressure.
injuries that happened. We're going to
You
talk
got
about
the two
that.
best players in
And
the league on the same
Saquon
team.
Barkley
Aaron
finally gets his
Judge
bag,
will-
kind
he's
of.
about to come back.
Will other running backs
Friday
follow
from a
suit?
toe injury.
We're also going to get
And they
into
got Shohei
Shohei
the
Ohtani.
best player in the league.
He does something special
Pitcher and
today.
the
We're going to get into that. And is he
If
the
they don't
greatest baseball
win
player
that first
ever?
season, you know how crazy
We're
that
also
would
going
be.
to talk about
Like, I don't
college
want that. I
football
don't even
as
want those
the
problems.
Pac-12 may
As
be
a Yankee
over
fan,
as Colorado looks to make the
We go
move.
on, I'm gonna bring that up,
And
man.
we're going to
No,
lay
you can.
Yeah,
who
Cause I
is
hear how you
going to
talking about
win
it, so I'm gonna bring
I'm
that up.
serious.
Vince versus Bud Crawford
It's
this
a
week.
serious thing,
We
man.
got our bets. So keep it locked right
I don't
here
want that. I don't want
on the Keep 1 Million show.
I don't want that smoke. At all. At all, I don't want that smoke. I do not want that smoke at all. Because think about that. Two of the best players in the league. And then he possibly could make the most money in American sports history.
Cause they talking about what, but like 400 million, 500 million, something like that.
Oh, and we gotta talk about this too. What's the dude's name? You hear about the soccer player?
Oh,
1 year,
he on
700
over in
something
Qatar,
million.
right?
Man,
I ain't read the article, but I saw a meme on it. How he making more than like I think making more than LeBron did.
You know, LeBron was like,
Contract wise.
LeBron was like, he put a gift like, yo, I'm gonna get that Saudi money. Don't mind to bring that up too.
Because Saudi did the same thing. They did the same thing with the PGA.
They just bought them out.
Yeah, they put the PGA out, but like the players didn't want to go over there because the players could have went over there and signed for big money, but they said I guess the players wanted to stick together. So the Saudi said, well,
And
F y'all.
some players did go.
Yeah, some players did go, and they gonna get their money. But some players say that no, we ain't gonna do that, and the Saudis was like, you know what, and we bought the whole thing. Like, so the whole thing is you could have got more money if you would have signed this thing. I was like, sometimes it don't pay to be a team player, bro. And so, like,
Yeah. I was seeing it all over, and I'm like,
say what?
that's just crazy. South Africa scored a goal.
You know what I miss Vegas, man. Vegas is open all night. like you can find something all
You live
night.
in Vegas?
Nah, I used to go military. We go TDY there and everything.
Oh, really?
You go there and you just be like, yo.
But y'all go to Vegas, they'll go to TDY for Vegas? They'll go to Vegas for TDY?
Yeah, temporary duty. You know, we go there. It's a joint called Red Flag. You go there. You be there for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
But doing what? You're in the field?
No, not in the field. I was there for. I worked on the flight line. You just the jets go up and they do they exercise. They do like it's not live fire stuff. It's just it's fake fighting, and they have other countries come over and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like so it's
Well, basically, you see, I never knew what TDY was. But I
yeah,
knew what it was.
it's pretty much temporary duty.
Right, but yeah, you go there to work.
You go there to work. You go you go there too. work.
You're right. Exactly.
because
Especially
I
in
told
Vegas,
you,
come on now.
the pilots aren't trying to be out there. They're trying to have fun too. So they'll go up and come down. And they ready to go. They ready to either go
Oh,
golfing.
they do it real quick.
No, they go do what they supposed to do, but they come back.
Yeah.
And
I'm saying they do it real right. Like,
yeah,
real
you know,
quick.
and they wanna go have fun too. They wanna go strip and stuff like that to the strip and all that, man.
That's funny.
Shoot, man.
TDY in Vegas.
Yeah, man. TDY's overseas.
Left.
TDY's overseas was on. Woo.
Oh, you had to do TDY overseas.
Yeah,
too?
when I was
You
overseas,
get per diem and all that.
Huh?
You get per diem and
Yeah, you get
extra
per diem.
money.
You get per diem for the ones you do over here, but like
Oh,
the ones
okay.
overseas, sometimes you per diem. The ones you want, like I never got these ones. I mean, I never was blessed enough to get it, but like get ones you get like $50 a day. Like or you get like I know one was like $100 a day, and these dudes was out there for like a month. So they got like they came back when you do your travel voucher, you get like $3,000 back. It's like you just like man, dude. That one was that was like a Singapore. Actually, it was longer than that. It was like a month and a half. That was like Singapore. They went to Singapore, boy. It's crazy, man.
That's great. That is crazy.
Hey, did you see the picture of Glorilla? The one she was posing like Lil Kim. How Lil Kim had the hardcore.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this giant. My homeboy posted it. He said, pretty much, I think somebody like airbrushed it and made it look like she, had Lil J in her hair. I was like, dude, somebody,
Oh wow,
I was
really?
like, somebody airbrushed that dude. He's like,
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come right now.
yeah.
We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting.
Oh no.
But we ain't gonna wait no more. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we're live. The Keep 1 Million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
It is June 27, 2023. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, man. Can't complain at all.
All right, and yeah, we're gonna just get into what happened in the past week, sports world and beyond.
Yes, sir.
Bronny James, serious cardiac arrest at USC practice.
Yeah.
He was taken into ICU and released on Thursday. And it's a real problem that's going on with young players, young athletes, and having this heart issue happen while playing the game, soccer, basketball, other sports. I mean, how do you feel about this situation?
It's a serious situation. It's I don't know if people can remember, but some of the audience might remember this. But Hank Gathers, he's one of I believe he's not the only player, but he's one of the few players that led the nation in scoring and rebounding in the same season. So when he collapsed on the court back in, I believe it was 1990 or 91, when that happened, that was because I'm from Philly, he was from Philadelphia as well, and that's in shockwaves through the sports world. And a little bit of knowledge I can drop on y'all is the coach of the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, was on the opposing team. He was standing maybe a yard or two away from Hank Gathers when he fell out on the court. And I don't know if y'all remember Reggie Lewis from the Boston Celtics. This happened to him as well during the off-season workout, and it also happened to Katina Mobley. Katina Mobley didn't pass out. It was found during a physical. That's why he retired. He had got traded from the Clippers to the Knicks, and he had retired when he found that out. So and this is crazy because you know the Damar Hamlin situation.
Right.
You know, but that I know T Higgins dipped his shoulder and they collided like that, but still, this is alarming.
It is alarming because you have this 18-year-old young man, you know, from what we see is very healthy, and you know this serious situation. The doctor had made a statement saying the longer someone is down from cardiac arrest, the more potential damage to their heart tissue.
I read that as well.
To their brain tissue, to their body. Quick stay in the ICU, and then a transfer to a lower level care in a short period of time suggests that there's very little damage and speedy recovery. The signs are definitely looking good.
Yeah, looking real good for him. I'm happy to hear that.
You know, the James family, LeBron had made a statement, you know, about thanking everyone for well wishes and hopefully, you know, Bronny James is okay, and you know, just basically generalizing the situation, you know, asking for privacy and whatnot. The thing is, you know, we've seen this in the past few years so many times. I mean, you know, there's rumors and everything, theories going on. I mean, what do you think is the underlying issue to this?
Well, you know, according to a doctor by the name of Jonathan Drenzer of the University of Washington Medical Center, he specializes in sports cardiology. He was saying that through his research, he found that black male Division I basketball players have a 1 in 2,000 chance of experiencing cardiac arrest, whereas 1 in 5,000 white Division I basketball players have this. So in his research, he's seeing that the young black males are having more of an issue with it than anybody else. And I got that information off of the CNN.com. So he's trying to figure out what the issue is, and I'm gonna follow him on Twitter and everything and see what else he has to say about it. But this is something that you don't necessarily know, you don't plan for, you don't know what's going to happen, because look, Bronny James was a very like healthy, in shape kid, and it's just like boom, it just happened. So I'm just curious when I follow this guy and read some more of his articles to see what he finds.
Right. You know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, what's going on with, you know, the COVID situation, the vaccine. Does that have anything to do with it? You know, we don't know. That's not substantiated as far as, you know, medically. But USC did require, you know, students to be vaccinated and or boosted before being on campus, as most universities have been going on in the past. You know,
I would like to
years.
see some more research on that to see if the vaccine does have something to do with it. I would love to see some really deep and thorough research on that.
Right. And here's the quote from LeBron James right here. Quote, "I want to thank the countless people sending my family love and prayers. We feel you, and we are so grateful. Everyone doing great. We have our family together, safe and healthy, and we feel your love. We'll have more to say when we're ready, but I want to tell everyone how much your support has meant to all of us. Hashtag James Gang." Like I said, the real name is LeBron James Jr. He's 18 years old, freshman in USC. Top 20 ESPN guard. and hopefully he can recover and play again, just like DeMar Hamlin has. He has some great news. He's on the practice team. You know, he's at training camp. There's video of him running onto the field. So with that huge scare, huge situation we saw live on TV, you know, for him to be out there on the field is sort of a miracle.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad to see him out there. I'm glad to see him playing and getting the love that he deserves, because that's what I would consider a miracle, like a miracle and a blessing. So my hat's off to that brother.
Right. And we're gonna come back with more Keep 1 Million show. We're gonna get into the NFL and training camp, and there's some key injuries already happening in training camp, and we're gonna talk also Saquon Barkley, his new deal, and what does it mean for the running backs going forward as a whole. So keep it locked right here. Thanks everybody for watching, for listening. It's the Keep 1 Million show.
Yes, sir.
Teenager, learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back to Keep 1 Million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And yeah, there's some injuries going on in the NFL as Jalen Ramsey has to have knee surgery with a tear in his meniscus. His ACL is intact.
That's good.
They immediately figured out the situation when Ramsey was sidelined. He's scheduled to be out 6 to 8 weeks. How important is this injury for the Miami Dolphins, since they've brought him in from the Rams, try to bolster their defense, you know, as we see how their offense is clicking this past season?
Well, I would say it's more disheartening towards Ramsey, because Ramsey was going to try to come out the box because he had something to prove. So now, because the Dolphins made the playoffs without him last year, so I really wanted to see what Ramsey did in another system, another team, because I'm a fan. I like him a lot. Matter of fact, I wanted the Eagles to go for him a few years ago. So he has a lot to prove. I believe that the Dolphins. I believe the Dolphins are gonna be fine.
Yeah, and you know, if they can hold serve, bring him back in the middle of the season, they can still be one of the top teams in the AFC and try to win that AFC East division. When how you know the Buffalo Bills are doing, I think Miami could actually win that division. You know, with a healthy Jalen Ramsey, a healthy Tua Tagovailoa.
Can't forget about the Jets, though.
Right. Well, that's true. But keeping on with the AFC, Joe Burrow, he was carted off on practice on Thursday with an apparent calf injury. He was rolling out right, doing a non-contact drill, which that's always the case with quarterbacks in practice, in training camp. They are not to be touched. So he, came up lame and glad that it's a calf injury. Looked like maybe an Achilles, which that is season injury. When I first heard, I thought ACL, which is almost season ending.
Almost.
And we know his first season was he was injured that whole first season. So with his injury, his injury, what he has going on, how do you feel the Bengals would fare with him?
Well, it's being diagnosed as of now as a calf injury, so that's a muscle and everything. So I believe what the Bengals are going to do is they're not going to play him at all during camp, and they're not going to play him at all during the preseason, and he's going to come into the regular season ready to go, because he's not fighting for his job. He's the starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to have a job going into the season, and if I was them, I would not risk it. This is going to be a franchise player. He's going to get the big money, and they need him if they want to win that Super Bowl.
Exactly, get that big money is exactly what will happen because you have the Chargers quarterback, Justin Herbert, getting a $250 million contract.
Yeah, him, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, they all got their money. Yeah, Joe's time is coming up.
Yeah, Joe's time is coming up. Looking for the deal. I think it was like a 5-year, $256 million deal that the quarterback he has got with the Chargers. Hopefully that coach over there with the Chargers can actually do some things there to get them in the playoffs on a regular basis, because if not, he's going to be one that's gone, not Justin Herbert.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They got rid of the coach before him. They got rid of him pretty quick.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They sure did. And going with some more NFL, Sean Payton, he had some words for the old coaching staff at the Denver Broncos. He had said that was the worst coaching that he's ever seen in NFL history. Now, there's been a lot of bad coaching, but as far as what he said, that's very very damning, basically, for him to come in and say those things as far as the old coaching staff with the old coach going to the Jets, Nathan Hackett going to the Jets as the offense coordinator. He was talking about the Jets winning the offseason as the Broncos went to win the offseason last season when he wasn't there. Now the Jets are there to try to win the offseason. Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, he kind of brushed it off and said, well, if you don't have any haters, you're not popping. And, we're popping right now. So there's a lot of back and forth going on between the Jets and the Broncos. They play each other week 5. How big is that game going to be?
Well, the way Sean Payton was talking mess about him, it's gonna be a pretty big game. I don't particularly agree with that method that Sean Payton is using. I believe it's actually sad, lame, corny. I mean, he didn't have to insult the people. Now, I will say Nathaniel Hackett was out of his element in Denver. I believe the moments were too big for him. And I'm not saying that he should never get another head coaching job, but he just wasn't ready. Because I saw some of those play calls and everything. He just wasn't ready. So I just believe that I don't like what Sean Payton did. It was narcissistic. It was messed up.
And then on top of the Nathaniel Hackett, not just his play calling, but his time management was bad to the point where they had to bring in someone from the New England Patriots to help with time management and those decisions, third down, fourth down, 2-minute warning decisions. Like he really wasn't that good. He really was very bad when it came to decisions. Now my question is, with the Broncos, was it a Nathaniel Hackett problem or was it a Russell Wilson problem? As
good question.
He's been injured. He's, let's say this, he's over the hill. Is Sean Payton going to quote unquote fix him and make him turn back the clock and make him that quarterback of old? Can Sean Payton even do that?
I don't know. We'll see, because Sean Payton had a Hall of Famer in Drew Brees. So and then he also had Jameis Winston for a little bit. And Jameis Winston didn't do bad. He wasn't bad with Sean Payton. So let's see. But I have a quick question though. Nathaniel Hackett, what coaching tree does he come from?
If I'm not mistaken, the Shanahan.
Oh, Shanahan coaching tree.
He was Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator, and the Denver Broncos grabbed him to see if Aaron Rodgers would bite and go out there.
That's right.
So that didn't happen. So they got stuck with him, and that's why they had to, had a knee-jerk reaction to bring in Russell Wilson and give him a massive contract to keep him there. So that didn't work out. Then he goes to the Jets, and that's why the Jets grabbed Aaron Rodgers. Now he's his offensive coordinator. That can work, but him being a head coach is not going to work. It's going to take a lot of time for him to do that. And the thing is, it's more pressure on the Broncos than the Jets, because the Jets, they have a good team, a cohesive team, a team with top players. The Broncos, if you see their past quarterbacks in the past few years, they were horrible. And you bring in Russell Wilson, who's basically a step slower. Their defense not that great. Their wide receiver core was absolutely upset with him. If you've seen some of the games where he was missing touchdown passes and whatnot. So Sean Payton has a lot to fix over there in Denver. So the pressure's on them. And also, this may be starting an excuse to reason why they don't make the playoffs or they don't have a winning season. He's like, look what I inherited. I need more time. And I think this is that slow roll to get that narrative out there. He's already trying to push that narrative of what he came into. You know what I mean? So, moving on to more football, though, you have Saquon Barkley getting a 1-year deal, going to camp, a $10 million deal with incentives of over $900,000. He gets $2 million of the deal up front.
Okay.
Could be $11 million if he surpasses his last season. So he basically swallowed his pride. Can you see that with Jacobs with the Raiders or with other running backs? As you know, they had a big Zoom meeting and, you know, wondering were they all going to hold out or strike or something like that. None of that happened. And if that happened, then that means Saquon Barkley just went over the picket line. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you think that's going to turn out with Saquon getting his money, and what about the other running backs?
I can see Josh Jacobs holding out. I can see him holding out. I'm 50-50 on him though, because he might take the money, he might not. Who knows what somebody will do? Because I didn't think Saquon was going to take it. I thought Saquon was going to push the envelope further, but he said he had an epiphany. So I believe that Josh Jacobs will hold out for training camp at least.
He may hold out all the way to week 1, week 2.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're not going to give Josh Jacobs what he wants. You know, a long-term deal.
And I have a question: Do they have a quarterback down there in Vegas?
Cause they got Jimmy G. He's actually said.
Okay.
They've said he's past his physical.
All right.
He's healthy.
All right.
So with that being said, they're supposedly good to go. We'll find out. The thing is, you need a running game, and the problem is, you have Ezekiel Elliott gone because of Pollard. You have some of these young players that actually can play at the running back position that's not getting paid. So really, this whole situation about running backs rests on Saquon Barkley's shoulders. If he surpasses, if he bets on, he's betting on himself. I don't see him coming back to the Giants after this season. But if he surpasses and he gets his money, he gets a long-term deal, that's a big win for the running backs. If he doesn't, if he regresses, injury, you know, hopefully he doesn't get injured, then that's going to be a major problem for running backs moving forward, as you got young, and they already signed a running back right before Saquon Barkley signed. So if their backup running back balls out, and Saquon Barkley is, unfortunately, if he's injured or he's having a bad season, this is going to look great for the owners, you know, when it comes to them not wanting to pay these running backs. And that's going to be a developing story throughout the whole season, because, you know, this is a big deal. You only have a couple running backs that actually can make big money, and that's because they do more than just run out the backfield. They catch, then you like the Christian McCaffreys, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And Alvin Kamara, all of the ways.
Right, exactly. One last thing, staying with football, you have Colorado leaving the Pac-12 and going into the Big 12. It just came out on Thursday that Colorado is going to the Big 12 from their athletic director, their president, congratulating the Big 12 on the deal, and the fact that basically gives them more visibility in the future, as far as, you know, television deal is concerned, and everything like that. We know Deion Sanders is their head coach now. It's going to be his first year. They was like holding 2 wins last season. So, and the thing is, now you look at the Pac-12. Is the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 or the Pac-9, whatever numbers there are now, they're in trouble?
Yeah. I mean, it's not the college football that I grew up on. I mean, you got USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-10 or Pac-12. Man, it used to be exciting. I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out. People have been talking about power conferences, so I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out.
Well, been talking about this for some years now, and it's coming to fruition. The word super conference, which would be, more than 12 teams, 14, 15, maybe 16 teams. And in 2024 and beyond is going to start the new playoff scenario where it's 12 teams in the playoffs. They're going to have a real playoffs. So it seems like to get in that playoffs, you're going to be having to be one of those top conferences. And those top conferences have major media deals, media rights with ESPN, CBS, Fox, and all the major media companies. And the Pac-12 doesn't have that. They've been trying to get a deal for months now, if not years, and it hasn't came to fruition. And this is the reason why USC and UCLA goes to the Big Ten, because they get more piece of the pie. It's like $75 million a piece when it comes to revenue sharing, for the colleges. And then also, the Big 12 has their media rights deal, so Colorado sees that, and they're looking to move. Pac-12 really can't do anything about that. It seems like these conferences are poaching teams to bolster their conference, and I would think really in the future is going to be just the big power conference is going to be ACC, SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10, with between 14 to 16 teams all vying for those 12 spots in the playoffs. And the mid-majors, possibly the Pac-10 or the Pac-12, the Mountain West, and these other conferences, or possibly fight for those last 2 or 4 playoff spots.
Okay.
And, you have the NIL deals, you have the transfer portal, and with that going on, players have so much more power these days than they did in the past. They're going to go to the big schools that can give them the money, give them the notoriety, give them the screen time and TV time, so they can be seen by scouts and NFL scouts and whatnot. So I say this is the beginning of the end for the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-9, whatever you want to call them now, because U of A and ASU may be the next to go. Oregon State may be the next to go. We don't know right now, but in the future, it could be that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we're going to be right back with more Keep 1 Million Show. Oh, shit. So I'm gonna go with the NFL, right? No, not the NFL. Excuse me. Boxing. Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford fight.
You want to end with Otani?
You know what? Yeah, we'll get into that. So I'm going to talk about the press conference. They had their press conference today.
For the fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had the press conference, the score off and all that. I was watching some video. Crawford was yelling at one of the fans in the stands. One of Earl Spence's guys. They was talking smack back and forth. We're gonna come back right now. And we're back. Key 1 million. So I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
Thanks everybody for watching, listening. Please subscribe on our YouTube page and our Instagram page as well. The Keep It 1 Million Show. Now, this weekend is going to be the fight of the year. Earl Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford. And the press conference was on Thursday. And there was a lot of smack talking back and forth. Bud Crawford talking smack to the fans. I think it was Earl Spence's entourage. And I mean, how major is this fight?
I guess it's major now because it actually has always been major because these are considered the two best fighters in the world, two best pound for pound, 1 and 2. I believe Terrence Crawford's 1, Earl Spence is 2. Or if it's not like that, then they're in the top 5. And they're both in the same weight class pretty much. So it's a big time fight. And I've seen interviews with them like probably about a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, and interviews have been extremely cordial. Yeah, it wasn't too much trash talking. It was just they were showing a lot of love and respect towards one another. So
right.
But it's still a fight. So I've been saying the whole time, I had Crawford winning possibly win a split decision. And it's a rematch clause they both have.
Yes.
So it'll be a second fight. So I have Crawford by split decision, but I could be wrong about that. I mean, Earl Spence is a naturally bigger man. Earl Spence ain't no sucker. He can box. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right. And the undisputed welterweight championship is on the line. They've been trying to make this fight for 5 years now. And like you said, Crawford is the number 1. ESPN is number 1 pound for pound boxer. Spence is number 4.
Oh, okay. Like I said, top 5.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what I want to see is how the styles are going to mesh, because you have Spence moving forward. They both move forward. So who's going to back up? Who's going to counter? They both had similar fights. Who was the fighter they fought?
Sean Porter.
And they both beat Sean Porter, but in different ways. Now, how are those ways you see? Do those ways that they beat Sean Porter, do they have a advantage for one or the other?
Well, styles make fights, so you can't say because Earl Spence did this to Porter and Bud Crawford did this to Porter that they're going to both do it, because it doesn't work that way in boxing.
Right.
It just doesn't. But what I will say is, whereas Sean Porter had never been stopped and Bud Crawford stopped him because Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's trainer, and his father stopped the fight because he got dropped. He got dropped twice in I forget which round it was. He got dropped and Terrence Crawford is an excellent finisher. So his trainer, his corner was like, nah, he's done. But with the Earl Spence fight, pretty much, I believe that Sean Porter would have won that fight if he wouldn't have got dropped. He got dropped in one of the later rounds. So and that's what caused him to lose that fight. If he wouldn't have won the fight, it would have been a draw. That's how close the fight was at that point. So we'll see. I'm gonna go look at I'm gonna go tonight. I'm gonna go look at Sean Porter's podcast. I follow him on I subscribe to it on YouTube, and I want to hear what he has to say and what his pick is going to be for the fight. I'm interested because he fought both of them,
Right.
So he would know.
And the thing is, Terrence Crawford has a bit of a reach advantage, so
okay.
He may box his way out of this on the outside. With Spence coming in on him, he may have chances for counters.
Yeah.
And he has a devastating left hook, devastating uppercut. Spence as well has the same thing. And the thing is, do you think Spence will have problems with Bud Crawford switching to southpaw, because he does that in the middle of the fights, which is a very interesting problem to have, as far as switching from orthodox to unorthodox.
Yeah.
How is that going to work for him?
It could work for Bud Crawford, and it should work for Bud Crawford pretty well. But if Earl Spence has been spending his camp, like looking at film and training and everything, we'll see. We'll see. It's tough for these two fighters. They're really good. These two fighters are like really excellent.
Right.
Fighters.
Now, can you compare this fight to the other fights? Is this like a Leonard?
Nah, I don't think so.
Duran or
that was all offense. That fight. Well, no.
Hagler
Hearns was all offense.
Right, Hagler Hearns is something like
you know
that.
What? You know what fight I would compare this to? A while back, probably in whenever the Miami Heat won their first championship with Dwayne Wade and Shaq. Can't remember. Somebody can tell us.
It was 06.
Oh, that was 06?
Yes.
Winky Wright and Bernard Hopkins fought.
Okay.
And that was a fight where it was a really defensive fight. It was just like, it was really some people said it was boring. I watched the whole thing. Some people said it was boring. So I could see this fight, not saying that this fight will be boring, but I could see this fight being similar to that. It's not gonna be a Leonard Hearns or a Hagler Hearns or anything like that. It's not gonna be that.
Now, I think it'll be the opposite. I think they both have something to prove. A lot to prove, actually. I think they want to show their fans that they can be great at this level. This is a legacy fight, so the winner is going to be up there in the echelon of the top boxers ever. The loser is still going to have to find himself. There is, like you said, a rematch clause, so this may be a start of a rubber match. So I think this is going to be. It's not going to be a brawl, but it's going to be one of those very, very high IQ fights where if you're a fan of the sweet science, you're going to really love this fight, because there's going to be punches and angles and things thrown where a lot of regular fans, casual fans aren't going to be able to see. You know what I mean? One of those slips and those hits and the how they move and how, like I said, when Crawford switches in the middle of the round to southpaw, how is Earl Spence gonna counter that? And how is will Earl Spence end up being on retreating? Will he be, because he never retreats, will he be on his back foot? And how can he counter? So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting fight. A very interesting fight. Now, I think I may put some money on this. I may go into the well here. I don't know. A friend of mine told me Spence.
I don't know.
Stop it.
I don't know.
This is Really a toss-up fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
A toss-up
This ain't
fight.
gonna be, like you said, it's gonna be a boxing match. This is not gonna be was it Dio Corrales, Jose Luis Castillo, the first one?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be that. It ain't gonna be Mickey Ward or Arturo Gatti.
No.
It ain't gonna be
it's
that.
gonna be slugfest. It's gonna be
It's gonna be
a highly intelligent
Yeah.
boxing match where you're gonna
Yeah.
have to see, you may see something that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
You may see some throws that it's like, wait a minute, did he hit him or did he not? You're not gonna know, and you're gonna have to go in the replay and look, because that's gonna be that type of match where you're gonna see a lot of replays where you go, oh wow, that's what he did. He hit him in the liver and the kidney punches and that. I'm not sure if I want to bet Spence. I'm still leaning Crawford. You say you have Crawford?
I had Crawford split decision.
Split. You don't have a knockout. Okay.
Nah.
Yeah. I don't know
I
if I'm
could
gonna
be
go
wrong.
all 12 rounds. I could be wrong too. So it's tough. I think Spence can do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just really not sure. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna watch those fights in the next couple of days, and I'm gonna make sure Saturday night, Earl Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford on pay-per-view. Then the Showtime pay-per-view. Your local listings for that fight. And lastly, this is the only baseball story that's going on right now. Shohei Ohtani, the trading deadline is coming up. They say they're not going to trade Shohei Ohtani. He is the best player in baseball.
Yes, he is.
He has a double header. Honestly, I'm not sure what team they even played against. It doesn't matter who he played against. He had a complete game one hitter in the first game. In the second game, he hit 2 home runs. The first time that's ever happened in the history of baseball.
It's probably gonna be the only time.
150 some odd years. Right. He's done things not just this season, but last season that we have not seen.
If I'm gonna tell you right now, if he stopped playing right now, man, he probably going to Hall of Fame.
Of course. I mean, we've never seen this before.
Yeah.
He's number one in all categories as a LA Angel. He won the AL MVP last season.
Oh, okay.
He's due for at least $70 million on the open market. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, your big money teams looking to score and grab him and pick him up at the end of this season.
Yeah.
People kind of upset at the Angels that they didn't trade him and get something for him right now, but they did trade to the White Sox to grab a number 2 pitcher. They want to try to get to the playoffs. While Mike Trout is hurt right now, he may come back later on in the season. Which at one point, Mike Trout was the best player in the league. But since Shohei Ohtani came to the league in 2018, the Angels haven't made the playoffs. The Dodgers have won a championship. The Houston Astros have won championships. The Atlanta Braves have won the championship. The Phillies made it to the World Series.
Yeah.
And the Angels haven't made it to the playoffs with 2 of the best players in the league. I don't know if it's coaching, I don't know if it's ownership, I don't know what it is with the Angels, but they haven't done squat.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ohtani, he could become a free agent next year, right?
Yeah, this is his last season.
So,
the rookie contract.
So, your Yankees got big pockets, man. What you think about that?
Me personally, I don't want him as a Yankee.
Oh, why not, man? Why not?
The pressure is too big. The pressure is you have Aaron Judge, who just broke the AL home run record. He's injured. He's coming back this week from injury. He's been injured for 2 months with a bad toe. The Yankees are still in that hunt of the wild card.
Yeah.
But then next season, let's say both teams don't make the playoffs, and the Yankees give Shohei Ohtani a boatload of money and let go of some players to bring him in. Do you know how massive that World Series will be in? I'm talking about December. As soon as they sign him, they're odds-on favorites to win a World Series by far with this player. Any team who picks up Shohei Ohtani is the odds-on favorite to win a World Series. The Dodgers, the Astros, the Mets, anybody with big money. That pressure is too high. The Yankees are so close that, so Ohtani can put them over the top, but what if they don't get it? What if they lose in the World Series? If they lose in the playoffs, then that crash is so harsh in that New York media. I mean, the Mets have spent almost $400 million on their new roster, and they're so bad right now, they may not make the playoffs. They're getting killed in the media right now in New York. So to have Shohei Ohtani with the Yankees or even the Mets and they still don't win, oh man, it's going to be bad news.
Bad news bears.
And with that being said, I'm Dwayne.
Sean B.
This is the Keep 1 Million show. We'll be here every week, Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Keep it locked right here. Thanks to everybody on YouTube. Thanks to everybody on Instagram. Please follow, like, share. And we'll be back next week, same time, same channel. And with that, we're out.